Hey there guys, Next Strike here, back again for another review. Sorry I couldn't be on camera for this one, but I am moving, so my apologies. Anyway, so Justice League vs. Teen Titans came out in a very stealth-like way. I wasn't expecting it, but I did manage to watch it on some downtime. So I'm going to be reviewing it, and I'm just going to be frank with you guys. This movie is complete and utter garbage. This is by far one of the worst DC movies, animated movies. And you know what? Yeah, DC movies too. But, animated, we're talking about animated movies. It's one of the worst DC animated movies to come out, period. It's so awful. And I wrote a full list of complaints that I had about this movie, and it is long, so I'm going to be going through that, and yes, that means I'm going to be spoiling it, but guess what? I'm doing you guys a favor. You don't want to see this movie. It is bad. To give you guys a sort of impressions, within the first 20 minutes of this movie, I was cringing so bad that I could barely get through the movie. Luckily, the movie got slightly more tolerable as it went along, but that still doesn't mean it was a good movie at all. It was an awful, awful experience and an awful movie. I honestly can't believe that they wrote it this bad. I predicted it. I knew that when they were including the Justice League that they would have the same sort of approach to it, and they did. Mindless action, terrible recycled plot. I mean, ugh. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So let's just get right into the specifics, because I'm sure you guys are just dying to know, why do I hate DC so bad? Why do I hate this movie? Why am I such a Marvel fanboy? So yeah, let's get right into that, right? So the first thing is that the opening scene of the movie is a long and boring action scene with no plot purpose whatsoever. You're thrown right into it. Oh, bad guys are randomly attacking the Hall of Justice, and then action scene. And this action scene, because it's not uncommon for a superhero movie to open with an action scene, right? I mean, that's just, they always do that. They're by the numbers. They're like, we gotta excite the audience. Let's throw in some generic action. Most superhero movies do not do this very well. So it's not just this movie, but this movie takes the cake by making the action scene almost 10 minutes long. My God. And it's just the Justice League fighting off random enemies. And you see them fight them, and then they take every one of them out one by one. So you see them fight, it cuts to another one, and then once you've seen them one time, they're going to get taken out. Awesome. Awesome. Absolutely amazing. I'm so glad that I was so engaged the whole time I was watching that. Thank you so much. And as you'll also notice, there is no Green Lantern and Shazam in this movie. Conveniently. How very convenient, because the villain of the movie is Trigon, and they are both the heavy hitters, so how convenient that they're all magically gone somewhere. They don't even explain, they're just gone. Now this again is not uncommon for a Justice League story to not include every single member, but it's an animated series, and they haven't made, not animated series, animated film series, what I mean. And they've only made 2 Justice League movies from the New 52, so they're already throwing out members. It just seems silly, but whatever. And, okay, so then after that, The Flash, after all the action scenes over, and you see, who was it that Flash was fighting? Weather Wizard, right. So Flash takes Weather Wizard's weapon, okay, and then Flash sees him walk off, and he's like, oh no, he's getting away, and he waits legit like a minute before running after him, being like, oh, where'd you go? If this was like the Joker, or if this was Lex, he would have already been gone. The game would have already been lost. And the Flash, who is so fast, why does he take a minute to run after him? Why doesn't he just run after him right then and stop him, knock him out, whatever? Why does it take him so long to go after him? Because plot convenience. Because he had to get possessed by Trigon, making the action scene go on for, like I said, 9 minutes is actually how long it goes on, but it's about 10 minutes, so, And Damien Wayne, oh boy, Damien Wayne is with the Justice League for, I really have no reason why. I don't know I don't know why he's there with them. He is because Damien Wayne, because DC loves Damien Wayne. They love him so much that they put him above every other character. It's so funny. So Damien Wayne disobeys his father, gets in the Batwing, I guess is what it's called in this, I don't know, and he gets all these missiles ready, and he could have just completely killed that guy by just ramming it right into him and causing a massive explosion, destroying parts of the city. I think he destroyed a little bit of the city anyway. But, it's okay because he was possessed by Trigon and he had a magic force field, so it only pretty much just knocked him out. Yeah, Just think about that, guys. Damien Wayne, the son of Batman, who's taught not to kill, arms the Batwing, and we're just gonna assume it's called the Batwing because it typically is. He arms it with tons of freaking missiles, and then just rams it right into the guy and causes a massive explosion that could have easily killed him because Weather Wizard's a human. He's a human. He doesn't have powers. He's just a human. And, he could have killed him. He could have killed people in the city. But whatever, Damien Wayne just looks like a total badass, like, DC wants, so it's okay, it's whatever. And this is what I don't like about DC now. They worship Damien, and they worship Batman, and it's very clear in this movie. Batman and his bitches, aka the Justice League, and Damien Wayne and his bitches, aka the Teen Titans. That is pretty much what you need to know going into this movie. It is going to be Damien Wayne controlling the Teen Titans, despite Starfire being the leader, which is a really stupid choice. And you have Batman just completely one-handing the entire Justice League. And yeah, it's cool. Whatever. Okay, so Batman, the guy with no powers, every time, it's so funny in this one action scene, they're like, oh, what do we do with Damien, and they're all giving him little joke suggestions or whatever, or I don't even know if they're being serious or not, and he just looks at him, and they're like terrified of him. I'm like, dude, he's just a human, he's got no powers, you're the Flash, you're Superman, why are you afraid of Batman? Okay, whatever, so let's just move along here. So, like I said, Damien Wayne being the lead. And also, let me just point this out here. If you guys have been keeping up with these DC movies, you'll know that in the last movie that came out, which was Batman Bad Blood. Yeah, that's what it's called. Batman Bad Blood featured Damien Wayne finally learning his lesson and being like, you know what? I'm going to be somewhat better of a person. I'm going to be a little bit more caring. I'm going to follow my father's rules, blah, blah, blah. Now Damien Wayne's a complete ass again in this movie. Why? Why is Damien like that again? It's pretty much like he was dropped off from Son of Batman into this movie. So if you hated Son of Batman, you hate Damien get ready. You're going to loathe him in this movie. He is so unbearable. He is just, it's my way or the highway the whole time. Ridiculous. Oh, and until the end, because, Damien Wayne's just going to learn in an hour time to, be cool friends with all the team members. Okay. So yeah, while we're dealing with that, we also have Superman and Wonder Woman. Yep, that's right. Superman and Wonder Woman. And their cringeworthy romance that is extremely forced. I don't really need to go into specifics here, but let me just say that when they are together, it is just, it's really bad. And Superman is an asshole to Wonder Woman. Yes, I know, he was possessed, blah, blah, blah. But still, he was in control of himself at that point. He's just like, get away from me. And, all this stuff. This is not Superman. DC just, they're so bad. They're so bad at characterizing their characters. It's ridiculous. Okay. But, that's still not the worst part of the movie yet, because then we get to Teen Titans time with Damien Wayne pretty much just being the ruler of all of them. And it just turns into a Damien Wayne worship movie, guest starring Raven, guest starring all the Teen Titans and the Justice League. Well, not even all the Justice League, really, because they don't do much of anything. The whole title of this movie is Justice League versus Teen Titans, right? Extremely misleading, because that fight literally lasts for maybe like a minute. Yeah. whatever. So yeah, Damien is being worshipped in the movie. He does tons of training, okay? Now, when I say training, he trains for an hour and a half, pretty much without getting tired at all. And the Titans are just sitting there watching him like, oh yeah, he's been training for an hour and a half, man. When's it going to be our turn? And Starfire's like, oh, Damien, you should stop training. She's the freaking leader of the Teen Titans, and she's so passive-aggressive in this movie. Not even aggressive, she's just passive. She's just passive. How are you supposed to be a leader of a team when you can't even order your team around, you know? Like, when there's serious problems with Damien freaking trying to kill the Blue Beetle in the next scene where he's fighting him, he's not actually going to kill him, but you know what I mean. She should have just stepped in and stopped that. But instead, Damien Wayne gets his just desserts and pretty much almost dies. But unfortunately, he doesn't, so, you know, we keep having him in the movie. And speaking of a Robin, it's funny how Damien Wayne is the star, right? He's taking the Robin role. And Dick Grayson, who you would think would be a pivotal member in the Teen Titans movie, is shat on in this movie harder than he was in any other New 52 movie. It's awful. You know, I thought, oh, Dick's just going to be made to look like a fool in this movie like everybody else. No. Dick Grayson is in this movie for, I think, 2 minutes total. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. He drives Damien to the Teen Titans Tower and he's on a video chat. That is all Dick Grayson is in this movie. Why? Why isn't he a freaking member of the Teen Titans? He's not in the Justice League. So why isn't he a member? You know, obviously he was at some point, right? But he has nothing to do with this movie aside from flirting with Starfire. A little. Very, very little. Bad writing, everybody. We focus on Damien Wayne, who shouldn't even be in this movie. Who shouldn't even be a Teen Titan. But Dick Grayson, who is the freaking leader of the Teen Titans in every freaking media source. Up until, you know, Tim Drake takes the lead. Neither one of them are in this movie, of course. And might I also point out that this movie has atrocious voice acting. I mean, absolutely horrible voice acting. Raven's voice actor is so awful that I guarantee you, any of you out there watching this review could have done better than her. I'm serious. You wanna know how she talks? Well, that's a problem. She just talks extremely monotone, okay? Now, you might say, well, Raven's a very depressed character. Well, to that I say, look at the original Teen Titans. Even Grey DeLeslie, who voiced Raven in the original, made her put a lot of energy into her voice despite her not being a very energetic person. And she gave her personality with her voice. And now we have this voice, which, again, it's just extremely bad. Now, I think, really, Beast Boy is the only Teen Titan that was probably cast correctly. And the only one that actually acts like himself. You know? The rest of them? No. And I still don't understand why Blue Beetle is even here. I don't get that, but whatever. So yeah, horrible voice acting, and the whole arc of this movie. If you've seen the original Teen Titans, you pretty much know how it's going to be. Oh, we gotta stop Trigon. The Trigon arc. Once again, rinse and repeat, thrown into this movie, with minor little changes. Whoop-de-doo. How exciting. And, like I said, the movie has tons of characters, but only Damien and Raven matter. And really just more of Damien. Raven's just there because Trigon, obviously. But, yeah, Damien's just worshipped. It's great. Yeah, like I said, Starfire being an awful leader. When she's trying to stop them, she's just like, stop, please. And she says it with no emotion in her voice whatsoever. None of them do, by the way. Only the regular people that we've had put somewhat energy into their voice roles. And Beast Boy. The rest of them just suck, okay? And then they try and make Damien a happy little boy by bringing him to a carnival, and we get a music montage. Yeah, just think about that. A montage. We get a montage in this movie like it was from, I don't know, the 80s. Except not a good kind, just a really bad kind with a corny song. I don't think I've ever heard a song in a superhero movie, in any animated movie, for a superhero. I don't recall there ever being a legitimate song. Not a soundtrack, but a song. This movie has 2 songs and like, I don't know, a couple of minutes of each other. It doesn't fit, and it's just weird, okay? At least the second song is better, though, we'll say that. But the weird thing is that they're playing Dance Dance Revolution, and, naturally, Beast Boy is good at it because, I don't know, because he's a freaking animal, okay? And then Damien's like, okay, I'll beat him. And I was like, oh, here we go. And what do you know? Damien Wayne, despite never dancing his entire life, and the movie says this, he has no experience, but he's a quick learner, okay? Damien learns by watching Garfield dance, and he beats him on his first attempt at Dance Dance Revolution. He beats him, and he outlasts a literal animal, Beast Boy, who is many animals in one person. He beats him. How does that even make sense? It doesn't. That's the answer, okay? Next point. Raven is completely weak against the Trigon minions, as well as pretty much every other character. It takes the whole team of Teen Titans to subdue Trigon minions. Yeah. Minions, people. Minions. Wow. Oh, you can see how bad this is, okay? And speaking of minions, Raven just walks away from the carnival in order to meet with the Trigon minions, and no one notices. Nobody. Even though she's standing like all around the Teen Titans members. No one notices. They don't even notice until there's an explosion. And they still don't really notice. They just see her falling. Good team. Good team. Okay? Then there's more mindless action with them fighting, of course. And then we have the good old League versus the Titans fight, which is only like 3 members of the Justice League. I think 3 or 4. And then we've got the Teen Titans who get destroyed. So, good fight. More like, whooping, but whatever. Okay. And it's funny because they get possessed, right? The League. And only Batman is able to resist the possession. Because, Batman, he's got a plan for everything. Oh, if I get possessed by a demon that we've never seen before, let me just inject this thing into my leg and make me paralyzed. Yeah. That's a good call there. That's a good call there, Batman. Yep. I'm so glad you could have that antidote with you on the fly. That's good. That's good. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so Superman obviously gets possessed, right? He's been possessed for a while in the movie. And he acts like a Man of Steel Superman, which is kind of funny. And then they're like, oh, how are we going to take down Superman? Damien naturally is the only one with a brain cell. And he's like, oh, I know how to take down Superman. And Damien jumps out of a portal and stabs Superman with kryptonite. The fight is over. This movie is written so awful that fan fiction is better than this. I could write a fan fiction about Titans versus the Justice League. It would be better than this movie. Whew. And when you say, well, you're not a director, you're not an animator, I'm telling you, anybody in the comments section could write a better story than this movie. I'm telling you, okay? Then Superman gets unpossessed because he got stabbed by kryptonite, right? And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to take down the other Justice League members. You guys just worry about Trigon. LOL, because while Superman's fighting the 2 possessed League members, the Titans are just nowhere, okay? While he's fighting them and he breaks Flash's leg, which is like one of the only actual cool scenes in the movie, and then somehow Wonder Woman gets unpossessed by the mind control because plot. The Titans are just, it takes them that long. Superman can take out Wonder Woman and the Flash, and the Titans still can't make it from point A to point B before he gets done. And they can fly. And they still can't make it over to Raven. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that sounds about right. Okay. So then they go into hell, basically, right? And Damien can beat all the demons with his sword. Now, those are some strong demons, let me tell you. I mean, you got Blue Beetle shooting this energy at him. You got Starfire shooting energy and Raven and all them, but, just take a sword to hell and you can kill everything. That's cool. And the final fight of the movie is between Damien and Ra's al Ghul. Because, for some reason in this movie, Damien magically idolizes Ra's al Ghul. For no reason. He just idolizes him. It's like, oh yeah, my grandfather, he was so great, we were going to rule the world together. Where did that come from? In all the movies he's been in, which is quite a few, never once has that been mentioned. Never. And yet, okay, now it's a big plot point because, he's going to fight Ra's al Ghul and then decapitate him at the end. Oh, man. Yeah, so that should just go to show you. The final fight of the movie, Raven just sitting there doing nothing. All the Titans are fighting worthless demons that can be killed by a sword, no less. A human being with no powers, okay? It takes all the Titans to fight them. So that Damien can get the spotlight and fight Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. You guys starting to see how bad this movie is without even seeing it? Because it is bad. It is bad, okay? And, like I said, the whole reason Raven's even in this movie is, one, because Damien needs a little friend who's just as emo as him, okay? And two, she needs to bring back Trigon. That's her only service and purpose in this movie. And then Raven uses the power of her monotone voice to seal Trigon again with an extremely small crystal, a smaller version than the one that sealed him originally. That makes sense, okay? And Damien now loves the team. He loves the Teen Titans after all the movie's over. He's like, yeah, I'm a Titan now. How cliche. How cliche. And, another thing that's kind of ridiculous is that Cyborg randomly switches teams. Why? I don't know, but whatever. Cyborg is now a Teen Titan. Okay. And, yeah. So that's pretty much the movie. And let me just say a few things. 3 things here that really pissed me off about this movie. Not just all the stuff I just listed, okay, but what's going to come up next, okay? So first off, if you guys see the very ending of this movie, they tease Tara, okay? Tara, you guys remember her from Teen Titans, right? It pisses me off that now, not only have they raped the Trigon arc, okay, that was done so well in the Teen Titans show, now they're going to rape the Tara arc. I mean, my God. Do you guys remember how shitty Deathstroke was in Son of Batman? Do you guys remember that? Well, he's coming back. And he's going to be a little, a little pawn that just gets beaten up by just Damien. Let's go ahead and call it out. It's going to be Damien versus Deathstroke. Right? Damien's going to beat him because he was such a wimp. He was a complete tool in Son of Batman. Absolutely embarrassing, okay? Number 2, they're doing all of the major Titan arcs without Dick and with Damien. That is insulting, okay? To take out the leader and everyone's favorite Titan member, Nightwing, replace him with Damien Wayne, and go on with the arcs just like they were. Thank you, DC. And finally, Damien is now a member of the Teen Titans in DC's Rebirth. Wow. Thank you so much. You're getting rid of Dick Grayson in the movies, and you're getting rid of Tim Drake in the comic books. So that's all Damien Wayne. Thank you so much, DC. This movie is just cringeworthy. If you can turn your brain off, and I mean really turn it off, then you can at least enjoy the mindless action if that's your thing. But other than that, no, I really don't think there's any way to even somewhat enjoy this movie. It is beyond atrocious. I hate this movie. It is awful. Thank you for ruining everything, DC, once again. So I hope you guys liked my extensive breakdown review of this movie. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you've seen the movie, or just your thoughts on my summary of everything. That's all I have for now. Catch you guys later.